speak for a third time. I think this is a record. I've always said that if you're going to have somebody there, you might as well abuse them and use them. So I guess I'm in for this year.
You love it.
I know it. I'm going to take all those paddles home with me afterwards. Yeah, I was asked if I could please do the new rose introductions, and of course that was about a week ago. I said, well, I'll try the best I can. I really wanted to, there's a few other people I want to try to get a hold of to get some of their newer introductions. Unfortunately, time ran out, and I can only do so much, but I got what I did, so you're going to have to deal with it. So I should have, what, 2 hours? Oh, 1 hour? How about if I make it a half an hour? Okay. Tell jokes. Well, I don't know. Okay. We're going to go through and show you some of the... I wonder if there's a better place to stand that doesn't give the feedback. Up for here. This is from Milan. It will be introduced by Connor Kyle. It's called All American Magic. It's a plant about 5.5 foot tall, classified as a grandiflora. Kind of looks like a Julio with a little bit bigger though. Milan is really getting into a lot of stripes, and I love it. Now, one thing about I was always interested. There's a couple of things that you're going to find out about this year. One is everybody claims every rose that they introduce is disease resistant. We'll find out after we get them in and we start growing them. Apricot Drift, also from Milan. This is a ground cover. It's about 2.5 foot wide. Nice little compact bush. Once again, they claim really good disease resistance. Once again, we'll find out. It's kind of a pretty flower though. Beach Blanket. J&P has introduced quite a few ground covers this year. And you'll see that a lot of the newer introductions, a lot of ground covers, a lot of shrubs. Things are changing. They're you don't see as many hybrid tea introductions. Actually, when I was looking and checking with all the main hybridizers, there's not that many new hybrid teas coming out. They seem to be going more and more to the shrubs, ground covers, and even floribundas, not as many floribundas. I was rather surprised. Excuse me a sec. About 1.5 foot tall, and they said this is actually a really good rose for little tight spaces like rock gardens and slopes. Keith was actually pretty excited about this one. Bubblicious. I love the names they always come up with. Another J&P, low shrub, about 2.5 foot mound. Once again, a lot of roses, a lot of shrubs and short shrubs, ground covers.
Steve, are they zone root now? Some are.
Yeah, some are, some aren't. I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head which ones are or not. Now this is the other thing that was interesting about the roses this year. This is the year of the apostrophe. It seems like half the roses have a, candy, oh! And you'll see more of them. So you keep going on. You're going to see that little, that mark there.
Is that another ground cover?
Candio, of course, another landscape shrub. Actually, this is from David Zelnick from the University of Minnesota. He's been really working hard on trying to get very hardy roses that are disease resistant. And of course, he's in Minnesota. He's been working a lot with the polyantha type roses. Now, this will be introduced from Proven Winners. And this is, believe it or not, it's about a 4 foot shrub. It's classed again as a shrub. And once again, they claim excellent disease resistance. But, once again, he's been testing these out in the field. And Minnesota does. The thing just keeps cutting out on me. Maybe better over here. Maybe I talk sideways. I'm used to doing that, talking sideways. Reminds me of Charles Durning and with the Grace Little Whorehouse in Texas, doing the Texas sidestep. Governor, whatever. Oh, da, da, da. Gee, sounds like this election too we just had. Oh, sorry. No politics allowed here. Jolene, you found that out in the Yankee district, right?
Yeah, lobsters, baby.
Lobsters
That's
speak.
all we talk about.
Politics don't.
That's right.
It's all about good times and friends and roses. Geez, like my talk last night. This is Cancun. This is one of Bill Radler's, the knockout fame. This is a climber. Connor Pyle is introducing it. Wish it was a better photo, but unfortunately we couldn't. About 10 foot tall. Yeah. Cha-ching. Now there's that little on the end again. Cha-ching is a sport of strike it rich. It was introduced by Weeks. And Tom was saying that this plan is just as good, if not better, than the parent. In sports, you don't say that much. I mean, there's very few sports that are actually better or as good as the parent. Usually they're just a little weaker, not as good. Sometimes they revert back, but Tom says this one's a good one, so otherwise he wouldn't have used the cha-ching. I guess that means he gets the money for it without having to do anything because it was a sport. So it didn't cost him anything to research and hybridize this thing.
Such a deal.
J&P introduces called Cinnamon Girl. It's about a 2-foot plant. It's a miniature. And it looks like it has awfully nice form there for exhibitors. The one over here has a nice high point center. Look at that. This, I think, might be a winner. Definitely one I'm going to get myself. I just love the colors. It's hard, you see so many roses, and it's hard to get a different color combination that didn't look like everything else. But that's quite rather unique.
What's the high-low?
Oh, gee, high-low. I don't know. I don't know what I do with the high. Oh, come on. Okay. Oh, it isn't. It's me. It's just static. Bill Radler of knockout fame is Citrus Burst. This is another climber. It's about 12 foot. It has a nice apple scent to it. And we'll see. It's got 4th of July in its breeding, so 4th of July does well for you. This one will probably do very well for you as well. That's what a lot of roses, when I get roses, there's certain ones, and I don't know if you do this, but if you have one particular variety that does really, really well for you, no, it just cuts off again.
Loved it.
Quick move.
Don't move, we can do.
I didn't back up. Do super, super well for me. So if I see seedlings and new plants of that particular variety, I usually try to go towards it. 4th of July is a great climber, so I'm thinking the seedlings of them might be just as good. For me, moonstone, I love moonstone. I love all the sports, both moonstones, they all do super well in my climate. So actually I had several moonstones that I cut for the show, and the centers didn't quite hold. And I decided to get lazy and not enter them. But, okay. This is a climber. Very rarely you see climbing in the title, but it's not a sport. This is actually from Milan. It's a nice orange. Who's the one who says they hate orange? That was Dan Bafano, yeah. Okay, Dan, this is your new rose here. Maybe we should name it after him. I don't know how many of you know, I mentioned the thing about Nancy Hayworth, saying, she hated singles, and then Alistair Clark named it after him. Jean Borner, this great rose, great floribunda. But everybody said, wait a minute, Jean hated pink roses. And so they named a rose after him, which was pink. Yeah. If you think about it, if you look at all the Gene Warner introductions, almost none of them were pink, a true pink. He hated pink. Okay, this is a bifaunal rose. It grows about 15 feet, and this is up from Milan. So Jane Carter Powell will introduce their star roses. And I think it's very non-fading, we'll see. But it would be nice to have a nice, good one. Yeah, Robbie Tucker pulled through again. He won the name after his grandfather. This was, let's see. Yeah, this is the AOE winner. Grows about 3 foot tall. It's a mini flora. And I'm guessing, knowing Robbie, that probably has darn good form.
I tested it and
Did
it
you?
already won princess.
Already won princess.
Already
Wow.
won- It has a high point center and it holds.
Very high point center and it holds.
Dark red, it's gorgeous.
How's the disease resistance on it?
Very good.
Does it get mildew?
No?
Good. Hey, I like it. I like it already.
It's a good rose. It's
Okay, Rose says you got to buy it. Just say, Rose, when you buy it from Robbie, say, Rose, send it to me. Buy me.
Yeah.
Send me money. Rose, do you get royalties for it?
Of course.
Okay, good. From Weeks, this is Daddy's Little Girl. It's a miniature. Nice color. Tom is my type of hybridizer. He likes the different, unusual colors. And so do I. And so anything I can get, and of course, once you're a ranger, rangers love unusual roses, so that's probably why I like unusual colors. But I'm one of these, there's not a color out there I don't like.
Is it a mauve or a red?
It's kind of it's kind of more of like an incognito type color. Is that about close? Yeah, he loves mauve. Drop Dead Red. Another one from Tom Crowne. This is a floribunda, one of the few floribundas being introduced. And it looks really nice. I saw it in the greenhouse. Probably not for my climate. I would say it doesn't have a lot of petals. It does not like the heat, but I think in your cooler climates it's probably very good. Yes, Jolene?
It is an absolute gorgeous showstopper over in the Oakland Rose Garden.
Oh, over in the Oakland Rose Garden, showstopper. So
My climate,
Temperate.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, if you have a very hot, dry climate like me, no, and I probably wouldn't get it. But boy, did it look good in the greenhouses. By the way, just to let you know, for my work, I can go out near the window. I'm on the 4th floor. I can walk across the street to the freeway, and I can see the top of Tom's greenhouses. So Tom's that far away from me.
How is it for sprays?
It was more singles that I saw.
one bloom per stem flora.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Not really, not a cluster. They could have a couple of small clusters, but nothing big. Easy does it. This is the AARS winner, the one and only for this year, Floribunda. Also from Harkness, so it's going to be introduced, so you can buy it anywhere. I have not seen it.
I've seen it at Rose Day. It's much more orange.
Much more orange.
Yes.
Yeah, in my yard it's orange also, and it always has this fimbriated
Yeah.
foliage. So you're always going to have judges looking at that, trying to figure out whether this is bad, good, or indifferent.
Right, now for you judges, this is typical of the variety. It is not a fault.
Just Joey is like that.
Yeah, just Joey's like that. Memorial Day, another one that has that type of pedaling, only during certain times of the year. Other times it doesn't have it, but it is not a fault. So therefore, stop it. We're going to have to teach you judges something someday. Actually, when I started judging, I had the pleasure of apprenticing with Dr. Ron Brooks. And he really taught me about, you really have to look at the rose and look at the beauty of the rose no matter what it is. The man was a very wise man. Another one of the AOE winners from Frank Benedella. First and foremost, I can tell you one thing, it's a mini flora like most of Frank's roses. It's going to be tall, it's going to be big, and it's going to be exhibition. When I was at the All Mini, Frank brought a whole bunch of his new seedlings, and I got to see some of these up front, and oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. There's a new one, just keep an eye out, it's called Ben Fox. I thought this was kind of fascinating. I love the colors of this. Needless to say, this is a David Austin. Now, when he puts it down that it's 4 foot tall, for me that means it's 12 foot tall. Yeah, I've learned a long time ago with anything with David Austin roses, if it says 2.5 feet or lower, it's fine. It'll stay there. Once it hits that 3 foot mark, triple it, quadruple it. Like Graham Thomas. Graham Thomas, 4 foot, right? 15 foot in my climate. It was a once blooming climber. It just took over the whole yard. Once bloomer, because it would only bloom on the tips. I could not get that sucker to. I bent down the canes. It would never break laterals. I had to take a machete to cut that puppy out. But I love the colors on this. They said it's a very fruity fragrance. But if you have some space, that might be worth trying. I have not seen this one myself. Of course, Alan Milan. Great guy if you've ever had a chance to meet him. I was just visiting with him up there in Vancouver at our convention not too long ago. Gentleman has a fantastic... when he speaks English, you wouldn't know he was French. The only reason you know he's French is because he's only about this tall. Fascinating man. He could speak German, Italian just as fluently. Really sharp man and a great guy to get to meet if you ever have a chance. But this is one, of course, ground cover roses, the Mediland series. There's that little darn mark up there again. Lemon Splash. God, how can you sell these things? I want a lemon splash. Well, I see a splash of lemon in there among all the faded blooms there, so I'm not sure about this one. I'm guessing this one probably fades pretty bad, especially in the heat. This is another ground cover rose from Milan, about 3 foot tall. Of course, Connor Powell will introduce it. But it's got a lot of flowers on it, so there may be some pluses and minuses. I kind of like this one, Limoncello. Of course, I like the liqueur just as well. So I guess you go outside and have a limoncello with a little maybe splash of club soda. But yeah, the interesting colors on this one. This is also from Milan. It's about a 4 foot shrub. Okay, I had to throw this one in. This is Susie's rose. She named it. It's one of mine I hybridized. Actually, I had a bloom of it. I was hoping it would, make it to the show, and the center kind of went a little sideways on it. But Vern Rickard of Almost Heaven Roses is going to introduce it later on in 2010, so it will be available. It's really a very unusual rose. This spring, early spring, I decided it wanted to be a hybrid tea. During the summer, and right now, it's back to a mini flora.
So what do you
I classify it as a mini flora.
Yeah.
But does anybody grow Ruffian? Are anybody familiar with Ruffian? It's one of Dave Clemence's. Okay, during the heat, it could be nice and small and nice and compact, but during the other times of the year, it's massive. So this is one of those, okay, we have it. I don't know if I'll keep it a mini flora, but right now, I should have brought the bloom down. You'll see the bloom is about as big around, maybe a little bit bigger than the head of that right now. And it does have great form, holds like you wouldn't believe. We'd leave the bloom on the bush for 3 weeks or more. It's got tremendous petal substance. It's a Gemini with Fairhope cross. Gemini is a great parent.
Fragrance?
Just slight.
Slightly, yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't have it all.
Long stem.
But tall.
Yeah, very tall.
Miracle on the Hudson, this is Ripito. Robert's introduction. Once again, a shrub. Makes a mound about 4 foot by 5 foot. Mild fragrance. Roses Unlimited is introducing this. Monkey business. Hey, why not? This is a Floribunda from J&P. It's about 4 foot tall. Blooms looks like they're nice on the large side. It's got a kind of a licorice scent. For some odd reason, I notice a lot of yellow roses, like Catherine Locher and some of the others, seem to have a licorice scent. I don't know what it is about yellow and licorice. I don't know. But I'm guessing that one is probably more of a one bloom per stem in small clusters as well. I have not seen this one. Munstead Woods. Another David Austin. Now this one says 3 foot, so this is okay, we'll see. He said it's very fragrant. Now, like I said, I haven't seen this one in person yet. And it's a old rose, the damask scent. So that might be worth something because I love the color.
What's the bloom size?
I'm sure it's a typical of an Austin, probably about, or like I said, I have not seen the rose. There's another series of roses that proven winners are coming out with, and they're all called Oso. And most of them are Oso Easy something or other else. So this is Oso Easy. This is actually a shrub landscape from Milan, again. And it's about 2 to 4 foot high and wide. Of course, very disease resistant, as they all claim. But it all kind of reminds me of some of the other Mediland type shrub roses. Another one, Oso Easy, honey bun. Okay. This actually came from, oh boy, Servgene. It's once again a landscape shrub, about 3 foot by 3 foot. Now this is one that I happen to like this. Now this I saw also in the greenhouse. This is from Oran, but Weeks is introducing it. And the blooms I saw there were huge. They're about that big, nice high center, perfect form. So this is one, actually you could have bought this, I believe, from, well, they released it for, not Parks. Oh, one of those, Wayside, I think it was. One of those, Weeks is going to introduce it full time this year, but Tom always will introduce a small lot to like Edmonds or to Wayside or to, Parks is now Edmonds. So actually it was Edmonds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Edmonds /
I
Park.
think he released it to Young Seed Company, and that's Edmonds.
Oh, it was Young, yeah. Okay, that's all right, which is Edmonds. So you could have bought this last year, but I'll tell you, but that's in the greenhouse. Now I need to see what it looks like in the yard, but this looks like it might be a really good exhibition rose. But the color was awesome. It's that kind of a nice, soft apricot. Another David Austin. Now this one says 5 foot. Okay, so 15 plus, okay? Well, if you're on the coast, it probably does better, but then I don't know if they'll open. Because this one looks like it has a lot of petals to it. And unlike most of his, this one doesn't have, it's a very light scent. Because most of his roses are really intense, for fragrant. Another one of these great colors. I love it. Once again, Tom Weeks, actually this is a Bedard's rose. And this is a Floribunda. And I just love the color. It's, it's supposed to be kind of a medium size. Have you seen it, Terry?
Yeah, I have it. It's more orange, much more orange.
Much more orange?
Yeah. It's really pretty.
And it fades out.
And it fades to pink.
fades out in the heat.
We
Does
have
it?
it-
Light pink.
We also have it in the Marin garden, and it's on the garden tour today, so if
Uh-huh.
anyone's going through Marin, you could probably see something.
Oh, there you go.
It's not a fast roller, it's just
Kind of a short, you know,
right after the near.
Rose put it on?
What is it?
it's a floribunda. That's what the class does. Well, maybe it's one of those cooler weather roses then. But you know what, I'll still probably get it and I'll try it and see if it does okay for me or not. Once again, if it looks like a great color, if it stays that way or orangey for arrangements again. Okay, Red Dream. This is one that, this is a shrub. And those who know Ruby Buck, you know, the Bucks actually had a lot of roses, and he had them in his yard. Now, if you ever been to his yard, it's surrounded by big trees. The roses never really did or looked like much, but he had a lot of his seedlings that he worked on later on. Well, this was one of them that he just had sitting there in his yard, and they decided to go ahead and introduce it this year. So it's called Red Dream. Needless to say, it's well, this one's the typical, it's about a 5-foot shrub. Obviously, it's going to be very very, very hardy. So I don't know if it'll make it into the Earth-kind trials or not there, but secret's out. Okay, well, guess what? It's a sport of secret. Needless to say, it's probably got the same bushiness, 4 foot tall, very fragrant. You know, it just it's a hybrid tea. It's one of the, once again, this hybrid teas. And there's that again. I was a visitor before. I used to go.
Yeah.
Okay. This is another one that looks really good. I've seen this one, Sedona, J&P, hybrid tea. It looks like it might show, but I like that color. It reminds me of a Sedona sunset. Yeah, it does. It looks like the petals have a lot of substance. But we'll see. It's supposed to be about 5 foot tall and have a kind of a pear scent, is what they claim.
What?
Pear. Don't ask me where they get it.
It was a little stingy in my yard.
A little stingy in your yard? Well, we'll find out. Show magic. For some odd reason, I don't have it on my notes, but that's okay. This is one of the other AOE winners from Frank Pinadella. Once again, I'm guessing it probably has pretty good exhibition form. Do you have this one, Rose? Good, bad, indifferent?
Didn't do that well in the city.
Didn't do that well in the
Probably
city?
needs more heat.
More heat? Oh, good. Sounds like something I need to get then. So, it's a mini flora.
Mini
Yeah,
flora.
sorry, yeah.
It gets big.
Once in a blue moon, Frank will actually introduce a mini. But singing the blues. Yeah, it's getting there. I don't know, but once again, you know, Photoshop is wonderful. I don't know how true blue this is. I did not see it. You know, it's a flora. It's supposed to be about a 5 foot tall floribunda. So we'll see. I don't know. Has anybody seen this one yet?
Isn't it a sport of interface? Isn't it interface box?
You know, I don't have the information.
Something with interface.
Actually, I have some other notes over there. I can look it up if anybody's interested.
It's very stingy.
It's very stingy. You know, that's the thing. A lot, of course, of the earlier mauve roses, you know, Blue Girl and all of them, you know, mauve roses tend to be a little on the stingy side anyway. I haven't found too many really good, fascinating, you know, great blooming mauves over the years. Neptune actually does pretty well. You know, Blueberry Hill does pretty well. Yeah. That's probably the first good bloomer. I love the scent of that one. That's still a great rose.
And who's bringing this out?
You know, I don't have that in my notes, but I'm guessing by the color, it looks like something Weeks would do. Star, is it Star Roses? Okay, Star Roses. I will not pronounce that last name. Benjamin. Yeah, didn't he say another David Austin rose? This one's about 3.5 foot high, so that's going to be 9 foot. Light fragrance. If I'm not mistaken, he's a well-known poet. Spirit Dance, another one from Weeks, actually Bedard's Rose. This is an AOE winner. And
It has that color.
that is the right color. How's the exhibition form on it though? I mean, the picture looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah, unfortunately when I was over at Weeks, this plant was not blooming, so
it's exhibition.
it is exhibition. There you go. Another one. And this is a mini flora. Sweet Intoxication. Floribunda JNP, again, 4 foot tall, supposedly extremely strong clove scent. I haven't seen this one. Has anybody seen this one yet? Okay, Jolene, is good, bad, indifferent?
It grows well, it's a nice bush, it does have a heavy scent, and it falls apart.
Okay, grows well, blows fast.
Yeah.
Great scent.
You can tell from the rows up in the left.
Yeah, yeah.
It goes from the exhibition to that in about 6 hours.
6 hours? Okay. So that means you better cut tight and take it to the
You
show.
got it.
Or put it in the fragrance class.
Or the boat road.
Sweet Drift. Another ground cover rose from Milan. So it'll come through star roses. About 2.5 feet high. So as you see, as we're going on here, more and more emphasis on shrub roses. It seems that's where all the hybridizers are concentrating in now, and the days of the big hybrid teas just don't seem to be out there all that much. Tabasco Cat. Well, Tabasco Cat is the name of a racehorse, therefore it's got to be Dave Clemens. Yeah, Dave likes the horses, likes big roses, and
Wow.
it's a mini flora. Yeah, well, anything with Dave Clemens is a mini flora, and they're usually big mini floras.
Mini one.
Yeah. This one, he says, is about 30 inches high, but the thing is, Dave wouldn't introduce it unless it has great exhibition form. So. I love this. I love the colors.
We have one in the room next door.
Do you? Is there one for sale next door?
No, it's on the rack.
It's on the raffle. Hey, buy tickets. Hell yeah. Okay.
That last one was on the raffle.
All too often we look at roses, we look at the high point centers, we look at different things. A lot of people don't like singles. I love singles, but I'll tell you, most people never appreciate great stamens and the great little halos. I mean, I could just sit and stare at that because of the different colors and.
It blows fast.
Yeah, well, yeah, it would be because it's only a single, but would the petals drop real fast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Repeat's good.
Real fast.
The bloom?
No, plant.
The plant's about 4 by 4 is what they claim. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, mine is
looks
still
like
all in
it's going
pots.
to get bigger than that even.
You think it'll get bigger than that?
It's really throwing some long canes right
Oh,
now.
is it? Wow. He said it's throwing some really long canes now, so it'll probably get even taller than 4 foot.
It's getting long chains.
Yeah.
Bob? Of course. Bob's an exhibitor, right? He make sure he takes care of his
Trying to
roses.
find the sun.
Gave a lot of them away.
We got it, the sunny spot.
By the way, the charlatan, the official thing says it could be a shrub or a small climber. So,
Really?
even though that's a gorgeous thing, it just says no scent. Well, if it's throwing out big canes for him, then it is turning into a climber. Maybe he just doesn't like your climate.
I gotta get it out of the pot. That might help.
Oh, there you go. You got to get out of those one gallon pots, you know.
That's 1 gallon pots.
Need to say another David Austin rose, Whistling. Now this one's 5 foot, fruity fragrance, so that's got to be 15 at least. And last but not least, young Lascivious. This one's another 4 footer, old tea scent rose, but once again, it's kind of interesting color. I'm not sure. I've never seen this one in person either. Yeah, it's it's got mauve with a little purple and a little oops, the wrong button there. But we'll see. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like any of the Austins or anything that's going to be stay small and manageable this year. But I didn't have a chance to ask my Austin expert what they think about them. Because with David Austin, he'll introduce a lot of roses, and there may be one really good gem in there. It was just we have to find out which one it is. So, okay, then that's pretty much all I have. Hey, not bad. And the mic started to behave itself.
That's because I feel like